guys. I do not have my hair done. It is early in the morning and I was just like, I never have time when my hair's done to sit down and do a video. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it like this. So here it goes. I had my surgery and that was a little more than 2.5 weeks ago, and everything seems to be going really good. My doctor was an hour late for surgery, which was a bummer and made me a little bit nervous, but anyway, everything's good. So I was home so when I came out of surgery, the anesthesia situation was really bad. I have never had an issue coming out of anesthesia, and it was horrible. It was horrible. So normally they said with this type of surgery, you know, you're out of recovery in a half an hour. Well, I was there about 5 hours. So anyway, honey got me home and I had to fast before surgery. So it had been about 24 hours since I'd eaten. Now, when I woke up from anesthesia, I was really nauseated and all of that. So I didn't want anything. By the time we got home and I got in bed, my body started saying, hey, I need something. So I tried a few crackers, and then Savannah was here. She fed me soup because my whole arm up to here was like a brick. And this is my left hand. And anyway, so she fed me soup. Then the next day was Tuesday, and I just stayed home. I was able to get up and move around the house and kind of do some stuff. I was mostly ready for our trip and mostly packed as much as we could before we left. So anyway, we left Wednesday morning and we drove to Amarillo and stayed there. And the next morning we drove to Elgin, E-L-G-I-N, Elgin, Oklahoma, and looked at a really pretty house there. Really pretty house. It was in a community. You know, the houses were maybe half the distance from each other than they are in some communities, but it was still just a little bit too close together for us. So then we went and looked at a barn dominium in a place called Loco, Oklahoma. And you could tell whoever built that house, even though it was only a couple of years old, didn't do a good job. And that property had 15 acres. So honey was really excited about that property, but the house was no bueno. So, I need a drink. And I don't drink coffee, so it's always tea. So then we went to a town called Marietta, Oklahoma. It's also known as Thackerville. And there was a little community there. It looked like maybe when they were done, there might be 60 houses in that community. And they were all 1 acre tracts. But the property was long and narrow, and the house was in the middle. So you got very little in the front and very little in the back, and it was all to the side. So although we really liked those houses, the property was kind of odd. And we started thinking about how we could make it work. We liked the houses well enough that we would have bought something there if we hadn't found anything better. So then we went to Durant, Oklahoma, and looked at a house that was older, maybe 10 years old. And it's a really pretty house, but it was very close to the road. And it was clearly a well-traveled road. While we were there inside the house, a tractor trailer went down the road, and I was like, oh no, 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 no. And this was a very nice home. And it had a huge backyard, I mean, it was maybe 2 acres. Anyway, it was all fenced. I mean, there were a lot of positives about this house. You walked in and it smelled like a spa in there. But it did seem weird to walk through a house that people were living in. And I thought to myself, okay, people are going to walk into our house and possibly feel that way too. I felt like if they were still living there, that's not the problem that I have. It's just that all their things were there. And that made me feel kind of uncomfortable. And I can't really describe why, other than it felt like we were like in their private space and we shouldn't be. So I want to downsize even more before we start showing this house. And yeah, I learned a lot about looking at houses. So I do better if there's some furniture in the house, not just zero, like clean slate. I do better that way. Honey does better if the house is completely empty. He can visualize that better. So anyway, so we were kind of excited about that in Marietta, Oklahoma, and we stayed in Durant, and the next morning we met a realtor in Texas. So we went, it wasn't very far, maybe an hour and a half, I think, to this house in Texas. We went to Powderly, Texas. Yes, Powderly. Honey had the hardest time getting that down. So this was a house when we had compiled all the houses we were looking at, this was the one that Honey said was his favorite. And it was really at the top of my list too. It was maybe the third favorite. So we pulled up to it and the realtor wasn't there yet. And so we got out, and as soon as we pulled up, we were both just like, oh, we really liked it. So we kind of walked around and we kind of visualized and imagined and talked about, okay, this is what we would do here, this is what we would do there, blah, blah, blah. And I guess we were there maybe 15, 20 minutes before the realtor. And she got there and we went inside. And when we went inside, it was like almost even better than the outside was pretty phenomenal. So we went inside and loved it. So we opted not to look at any more houses. Well, I take it back. We looked at one more. She goes, I have a house relatively close to here, maybe 15 minutes away. Do you want to see it? And we were like, okay, we're already here. Let's go see it. So they went to look at that and was like, oh my God, no. So we went to a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, a little hole-in-the-wall restaurant. My mom always said the hole-in-the-walls are the best. So they drew up a contract and we made an offer on that house. So we went on to Blake's house, and we stayed there the night of the 3rd. So then the next day was 4th of July. We took them to, where did we go? Texas Roadhouse. We had dinner. And then the next day we had barbecue brisket cooked all day. I felt really terrible that day. Was it the 4th? Yeah, it was on the 4th. I felt really terrible that day. And I did not go running around with anybody. I napped for 3 hours. And my mom had her stroke on the 4th of July. So I don't know if it was in my head or if it was, just my surgery catching up to me running all over the country. But Anyway, so we enjoyed 4th of July at Blake and Lauren's. And then the next morning, that was the morning we were leaving, I got a text message from my other son, Shane. And he was like, "Are you guys still there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, I'll be there in a half an hour. Blake's on the way to get me." And so we stayed a little bit longer so we could visit with Shane for about an hour. But we had to go because we had appointments to look at other houses. And at first we had said, well, we made an offer. Maybe we shouldn't even bother to look at any more houses. But it's like, anything could happen. We should go ahead and look at other houses since we have these scheduled appointments in case we need to back up. So we went on to Poto, Oklahoma, and Howe, Oklahoma. And we looked at 2 houses there. One of them was a definite no, and the other one was like, oh, okay, this is a really nice, high-end community. This house was obviously not the most expensive house in the entire community, but it was about mid-range, and there were houses bigger and houses a little bit smaller. But we both thought, oh, this could work. I didn't love the house, but I loved the property. The view was just like amazing. So anyway, we left there. And then we went to Guthrie, Oklahoma. The pictures on Zillow of the houses in Guthrie, Oklahoma were really nice. And I liked the houses online. And when I got in the house, it just was like, I don't like it. I just don't like it. And it's kind of embarrassing. You don't want to tell the realtor just like, ew, I don't like it. It feels awkward, but I did. And we looked at about 10 houses in that, and there were 3 different communities. We looked at about 10 houses. None of them were any good as far as me feeling like this could be it. And Honey felt the same way. He really did. He liked one of the 2-story houses, and I really didn't want a 2-story house, but he was like, there's only 1 bedroom upstairs, and we could make that the guest room. So anyway, we opted not to go with any of those houses. So we were supposed to go look at one more house in North Oklahoma. We opted not to go, and we went straight to Kansas, to Topeka, to visit Honey's mom. Well, we're on our way to Topeka, and we get the call that the house that we put the offer on, we had made an offer, they had countered, we countered back, and then the guy comes forward and says, well, I'm trying to trade that house for 40 acres so I can build another, like a whole community. He was a developer. So I can't really sell this house right now. I have to wait another week to see if I can make this deal, this trade work. So we're kind of devastated because we really hadn't seen anything else that compared to this house. So I got back online and I started looking again. And I found a couple of houses. Actually, the realtor sent us one house. It was $50,000 over the price that we had been shopping for. But she said she really thought she could get it down. It had been on the market over 100 days. And I personally, it was nice. I liked it okay, but not enough to say, hey, let's get back in the car and drive from Topeka, Kansas back to Texas to look at this house. So I kept looking and I kept looking and I found a house, and Honey had been outside and he came back in and I was like, hey, look at this. And he's like, showed him all the pictures. He goes, call the realtor right now, tell her to make an offer on that house. And I was like, I am not putting an offer on a house until I see it. It ain't happening. And he's like, but we're already in Topeka. And if that one's all the way back to Texas. And I said, do you like this house enough to drive 8 hours back to Texas to look at it before we go home? Because we were supposed to get home on Thursday that week. And I didn't have to be to work till Tuesday. But I had a doctor's appointment Monday. So I had to be back by Sunday. So that gave us an extra 3 days. So he said, yes, I like it well enough to drive back to Texas. So that's what we did. We looked at the house. We put an offer. And we had some negotiation. But then our offer was accepted. And now we are, the loan's approved and all of that. We're going to go ahead and buy the house there before we sell the house here. We have to finish closing on the business, and everything's in order for that. That is supposed to close somewhere between the 14th of August and the end of August. And then we will list, we're running a month behind because the SBA is slower than a traditional bank loan, and they're going SBA. So as soon as we close on the business, we're going to close on the new house in Texas, and we're going to list this house. And we are praying that it sells quickly. I have an employment contract that says I will still be working at the shop until we're moved, till it's time to go. So that's good. Honey got some really good news about SSDI while we were traveling. I had been bugging him and asking him, is there any way I can get VA medical benefits since you're 100% disabled veteran? He kept telling me yes. He would look into it. And he did not. So we're getting down to the wire here where I'm not going to be making as much money as the owner as I'm going to be as the employee. So I said, look, my health insurance is $1,200 a month. I really need you to look into this. So he did, and one day I came home from work and he had everything pulled up on the computer and we filled in all the information, and about a week later we got notified that they had accepted me to Champ VA, which means that we're going to save $1,200 a month, every month. That's a lot of money. And in Texas, 100% disabled veterans do not have to pay property tax. So that will save us about $6,000 a year. There's a lot of programs available for 100% disabled veterans, and we're going to take advantage of whatever is available. And there are other things, like there's discounted registering of vehicles. There's this whole list of stuff. But anyway, we're very, very blessed that Alan's service is coming back to not haunt him, but bless him. So that's what's going on with that. So yeah, more packing, more downsizing, and they're coming to do photos on, today's Saturday, so they're coming next Friday. So the people that are coming to clean the house, they're going to do a, what do you call it, like a move out clean, just so that it's really good for photos. And Honey's going to work on the yard today, and then tomorrow I'm going to work on the yard some more because he's going to weedy, and then I'm going to go with the stuff and do that. It's amazing. We can hardly grow plants here, but weeds grow like crazy. So anyway, our realtor that we have for this house to sell our house here, ugh, I sprayed it with water, but you know, when you sleep on it. Anyway, she's amazing. And what she does is she'll do like a video, some of her videos are like 30 to 45 seconds and some of them are a minute, but it's like this mini production. It's really high quality. I can't wait till she's done with ours because she has made some homes look, I mean, they're outdoor. Like, we watched this one video she did, and the outdoors is like, oh my gosh, amazing. But inside's kind of like, but the way she does the videos makes everything seem so much better. So, okay. Oh, we have such big plans for the new house. Okay, so I may as well tell you because I forgot I already posted the video of the house that fell through, and that was the black house. So I'm going to go ahead and include some of the clips that I did of, I'm going to do the clip of the black house to show you what we loved. And I'm going to do a clip of the house that we ended up under contract for. And you tell me which one you preferred. Okay? I need you to do this. We have big plans. Big plans. Look at that. Yes. Yes. We already are going to get a pool. So, the pool people have already been out to the house. They gave us the cost of the pool. They're going to do additional concrete. They're going to pour it so that we have a level area, and Honey is going to build us an outdoor kitchen. We're going to put a dock, and we're going to put a beach area. So anyway, yeah, it's so exciting. All right. I am going to hush now and show you guys all the videos from the trip. Trying to think if there's anything else, but there's going to be a lot of videos, and I'm going to have to change the name of this channel because we are absolutely not going to be living at 9,200 feet anymore. See you guys later. Bye. Okay, here we are, house number 1. Looking forward to this one. $357,000. Okay, this is the 3rd house, Marietta, Oklahoma. And baby, oh, he's still in the car. Okay, I'll try not to get you. Sorry, you're fine.
You can't hear the highway from inside the house.
Because this is house number 3. Really nice closet. This is nice. Hi. And then here's a toilet and the shower. Love this focal wall a lot. And the bedroom's definitely bigger than our house. Oh, and then there's a bedroom here. Remember how we were talking about how I said I like it when there's a little bit of furniture in there so I can kind of imagine better? And then there's a bedroom here and a bedroom there. So 2 bedrooms on each side. A really small guest bath, but that's okay. Okay, we looked at that one first. We looked at that one, but I didn't do any videos because they're expecting an offer on that one this weekend. And now we're going to go in and look at this one. Which, this one wasn't on my list, but we're here, so we're gonna look. Okay, we are currently in Powderly, Texas. This is the first house of the 3rd day of our trip. And we like it. We like it a lot. Even though it's rather close to that house, we really like it. And they've got some sod here. There's a pond over there. It's hard to see. And this is 1.7 acres.
I don't hear that very often. That's really cool. Okay. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Did you start out in the
Okay, front doors. Just kind of a flex office space. Front yard. Okay, first bedroom with a fan and a closet. Hall, pantry. Bathroom's rather simple. Bathtub. And a little towel closet. Another towel closet. Oh, I like this room. Look how pretty. Look how pretty. Big fans. Okay. Okay, so we're back at the front door. That's the... This is out to the back. Look at the kitchen. Okay.
Well, neat. And I always, the reason why it's, oh, she's on video.
Dining room.
I tell my husband all the time.
Big picture window. Another ceiling fan. And this will be the master bedroom. Okay, the bathroom. We got the tub, the double sinks. We got another big picture window. And that, if cleared out, that would be the pond. It's a shower. And potty room. And the laundry is in the master closet. No kidding. And then this comes out. And then there's the garage. And then there is a kitchen pantry. This is the backyard of the beautiful black house. So we found out the property is long and narrow. So it comes around the side of the house, maybe a car length or so, and then goes straight back. So he's trying to see what it's like back there to put a shop on. But he said he liked his house enough that he'd forego the shop as long as he could have the garage. Okay, getting ready to leave Blake's. We had 4th of July. It was all good. And then this ragamuffin showed up. We weren't expecting him, but somebody asked about Shane. Here he is. These are his new sea-doos. Heading out of the Big D. There's more flags.
Let's see, 1 mile.
Okay, long story, but we went all the way to Kansas. It's a beautiful tree. So we went all the way to Kansas, and we're gonna go home today, but decided to drive back to Texas to see this house. And we did that because the other house fell through, and I'll explain that later. But we're gonna come back and go inside this house tomorrow. Obviously, it needs a walkway to the front door. But check it out. Look at that. So let's go around. Honey's real happy. This is almost 3 acres. So, yeah. We'll be back tomorrow to look inside. Honey? Okay.
I'm assuming this has microwave built in?
Oh, that's a
Upper
good
ovens.
question. No, I don't think so. Those are two ovens. So you don't have a microwave.
That's okay. There's outlets in here. We can just put one in the pantry.
That's good.
They're asking $59.9 for just the land next door?
It's 2.4 acres. But it's been listed for a while, so I think they might negotiate on that. Yeah. Let me call him for the person. Yes, you can ask them how to clean it and then do whatever repairs, or do the home inspection and then the doors. And then we'll do a final. You can put something else there easily. I think that would work, yes. Let me confirm with the buyers and.
If you know, you know.
Car on shoulder reported ahead.
Thanks for scaring me. You can definitely see the elevation coming back, right?
Yeah.
And the skies are clear. This is pretty. I didn't know New Mexico was pretty. if you're wondering about the fires. Almost home. Okay, they're working on this one. There's the tractor man. They already removed the one that was over here that was down. And now this one. And by the way, we're home. Got home yesterday. All right, here he goes. Okay. Oh! Okay, snap the wire. Okay, there it goes. They got it. What is that, Sheevy? What's happening? Trees usually don't walk across the driveway.